What if I told you that our lives will never be the same again? The outbreak of the virus has affected the world critically. Not only that it has affected the lives of many, it has also disrupted the livelihood of people. On 31st December 2020, while delivering the New Year 2021 message and greetings, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tan Sri Dato Haji Muhyiddin bin Mohamad Yassin, stated that Malaysia faces loss of over 2.4 billion ringgit per day during the Movement Control Order (MCO). The Prime Minister affirms that in any case there should be another MCO, it would definitely affect the economy drastically, also public health system. It is not an easy task as the implication of the virus is faced by the nation as a whole. The virus has led to the rise of unemployment globally, recession risk, and the fall of aviation and travel industries. Efforts were taken by the Malaysian government to maintain and revitalize the economy. The Conditional Movement Control Order, or the CMCO, was announced by the Prime Minister on May 1st, 2020 and started on 4th May 2020. The main goal of this plan is to reopen and control Malaysia's economy in response to the pandemic. Businesses were allowed to reopen but were under obligations to comply with the Standard Operating Procedures or the SOP. The use of protective face masks are mandatory and large crowd social gatherings are prohibited. The CMCO ended on June 9, 2020. Later on June 10, 2020 to August 31st, 2020, the Recovery Movement Control Order, better known as the RMCO, was imposed to enable various industries as well as the public to cope with the new norm. The new norm has enabled businesses to run as usual with extra precautions on public safety and hygiene. This presentation will uncover challenges faced by Emart Holdings before and during the pandemic.
Emart actually started their business back in 1975 as an ice cream seller. After that, they start selling ice cream, some dairy products, fresh and quality meats as well. The first Emart branch was Emart Tudan, which was established in 2005. Emart started as a small supermarket. Now they are the popular household icon all over in Malaysia. There are few branches of Emart in Sarawak. Emart usually opens 24/7, but during this pandemic they open at 6 a.m. and closes by 12 a.m. Before the pandemic there was no customer limit, but now there are customer limit, like people have to wear mask, they have to measure their temperature and write their name and contact number in the entrance to enter Emart. Emart also opens door-to-door service to help the people who need their necessary things. So people now can order their desired product on Emart website as well. Recently, Emart opens up a new branch in Tabuan Jaya. So open up a new branch means an increase in employment and the boost of the economy. So basically, Emart is helping the government to decrease the unemployment rate and increase a greater boost in their economy.
The ideals of personal liberty, private property, and minimal government intervention are the basis of economic liberalism. The advantage of economic liberalism is that it can remove the barriers that exist in international trade. Investing some products to other countries can be quite hard as it consists of so many obstacles. This include the tax law, foreign investment, legal problems, as well as accounting rules, which can be a barrier for some traders to trade into the country that they want to invest. The process of economic liberalization starts by reducing these barriers and forfeiting some power over the private sector's course of the economy. This also includes some sort of company deregulation and privatization. With this, it can boost the economy of that particular country as well as increase the gross domestic products. However, the disadvantages of economic liberalism includes the rise in unemployment. Economic liberalism or free trade decreases the amount of prospect in unsustainable industries that are accessible. This is because the demand of their job for the ongoing trade that was channeled into their country were taken by foreign workers. Most companies prefer cheaper labor. Thus, to cut the cost, companies choose laborers that are cheaper to do the same job. Free trade is responsible for about 20% of unemployment globally. If these deals are made with highly capable countries or those with very few goods, then there could be zero measures for job development that grows over time.
The standard operating procedures SOPs that has been practiced in Emart Holdings are quite successful. The Emart management also provides hand sanitizers, sinks for hand washing, various signboards such as posters reminding the customers with regards to practicing social distancing, the QR codes such as My Sejahtera and Community, and also the digital forehead thermometer scanner to the customer before entering the premises. Emart Holdings' positive idea is maintaining the security guards as the person in charge for taking temperatures of customers in the premises entrance using a digital forehead thermometer. Besides taking temperatures of customers, the security guards also have the right to reprimand the customers if they did not obey the SOPs set by the MOH. Mr. Frederick, who works as a goods receiver, stated that it is better if the security guards are in charge of taking the body temperature, as not everyone will scan their body temperature using an infrared thermometer stand. The posters of SOP compliance gave the customers the awareness with regards to the importance of keeping at least 1 meter away from other customers. Mr. Frederick stated that the majority of customers did practice social distancing. However, Mr. Frederick's statement was slightly different from Miss Amelia's perspective during an interview. Miss Amelia, who works as a cashier in Emart, often reminds the customer to keep their distance from other customers while lining up at the counter.
Every worker have to make sure the department is really clean and sanitized every day and clean up every item that have been used by the customer or the staff to make sure everyone keeps safe and not easily infected with the virus. The company will take care of their staff and the customer because customer are their priority to make sure the company keep running and they supply goods and services to their customer. Even though everyone wash their hands and scanning body temperature before they entering the premise, it's also important to make sure the basket, trolley are clean before and after use because we didn't know if some of the customer or staff are infected but don't have any symptom. So it is the best if the item always be cleaned up after use and before use.
So standard operating procedure, or better known as SOPs, is very important for the ongoing process when dealing with something that matters. So basically, all SOPs needs to be applied to supermarket in Malaysia by following the rules and regulations from the government of Malaysia. In this context, we are looking on the how Emart Holding implements the SOPs to help the spreading of COVID-19 pandemic. These SOPs include ensuring all workers are in optimal health by taking their temperature regularly and implementing mask wearing for all. Those with high temperatures must not be permitted to serve, and must be guided to see a doctor as soon as possible. Take the temperature at the entrance of all customers and reject those with a high temperature entry. Ensure that all clients wear masks in a suitable way, as well as to offer hand sanitizer at the entrance and exit for the customer. SOPs needs to be followed by all premises and shops. The SOPs need to be obeyed by the premises and shops by following the guidelines from the National Security Council, or known as NSC.
First of all, the employee mentioned that during the MCO, there are limits on the numbers of customers that are allowed to enter. For example, the first phase of MCO is only one family members are allowed to enter and buy. However, on the second phase, the numbers allowed have been increased to 2%. Now, after the MCO, the numbers are increased to as many as possible, as long as there is social distancing. Besides, Emart's cashier department also operates with perspex covers between every counter, as this was not imposed before the MCO, and it is still imposed post MCO. The Emart shifted from conventional grocery shopping to online ordering. This also helps the customers to order online without risking themselves in the open, and later they could pick up their carts without doing any physical payments, as less physical contact is safer during that time. And right now, the employee also mentioned that the deliveries are conducted in the areas within the range. Then, as most shoppers are less likely to browse the stores and only going to buy the items that they have purchased regularly during the pandemic, the changes in promotional activities before the MCOs, there was like a big scale road shows to attract customers. However, during and post MCO, the store has shifted to online promotional activities in order to avoid big crowds.
In conclusion, Emart has made their commitment to this general development in circumstance. Yet, they have been moreover powerful as a result of the size, scope, and character. In giving enormous quantities of neighborhood occupations for nearby individuals in manners that glory projects in different areas, with numerous other shopping centers situated in regions of existing high joblessness, such commitments have been especially viable.